Big whiz.
So sir, from my view, I see you from a distance, and I see that you're a legend in journalism, and you're someone that is very well respected beyond the shores of this country. So the question I want to ask is more of the human parts to you, not actually the job itself, because I know a lot of people have asked you, and you've answered these questions a number of times. So the question I want to ask you is to know the human Babajide Otitoju. Like when you were young, what were the vices you were like involved in? Like I know you'll have got in trouble with your parents in the neighborhood or even in the school. What are the memorable ones? You can tell us like a short tale on one of your memorable incidents when you were actually naughty, not the ones that you was pushed on you, the one that you're actually the mischievous one.
Okay. You know, when people say things before me, I keep what is said in one corner of my head, and I don't forget. So I remember one day, two of my uncles were discussing, and they said, see, that the vegetable oil that is used to fry chicken, using it to eat bread, or when you boil chicken and you put all kinds of ingredients and condiments, the water that is left when you now bring the boiled chicken out of the pot, the little water that is left is the best to eat bread. So when they were arguing amongst themselves, one said, no, it is the water that is the sweetest. To use it to eat bread is the sweetest. The other one said, no, it has to be the groundnut oil that is used to fry chicken, that is the sweetest to eat bread. And in my little boy's brain, I was already fantasizing, was imagining what it would look like to get a loaf of bread and then get fried, get the groundnut oil that had been used to fry chicken and then eat my loaf of bread with it. So I was having all kinds of ideas. I wanted to be able to resolve that debate, determine the winner of that debate without being asked to. So there was this day, I think one of my younger ones, it was his birthday, and I went, and my mom scooped the groundnut oil, saved it for another day after bringing out the chicken that she had fried with it. Kept the groundnut oil, scooped it, kept it in one little corner in our kitchen. So I went there, got a bowl, put the groundnut oil. You see, so it wasn't really pristine clean because strands of chicken flesh and all that. It looked a bit dirty, but I could not be bothered. I was already thinking of how sweet it would be. So I got a bowl, poured part of that, poured some of the groundnut oil in the bowl, got my loaf of bread, went to my dad's garage. It's where I used to park his car. The garage is that place that is attached to a building where you can park your car. A small area. So I hid myself in the garage and I was eating bread with the groundnut oil that had successfully fried dozens of chicken drumsticks and the rest. As I was doing that, my dad arrived at the scene.
Too late.
I will never forget that day. The way he beat me, you could bet that I did not come out from his loins. The way he beat me, because I still remember that he got a broom. You know, in school in those days, in primary school, when we are doing this, the cultural day, some of our own works of art and other things that we submit, usually they give us some of it to go home with it. So I brought home this broom that the bottom was knit. They knit the bottom in a very attractive manner to keep it very firm. You know, to keep it firmer than simply using a rope to tie the broom. That was what he used to beat me. Big as it was. If my mom had witnessed the beating, she probably would have suffered a seizure. Because he beat me without mercy. And the reason I find it difficult to forget was that when he asked me, where did you get this? I didn't lie. I told him the truth. And what I had been told was that, look, once once you say the truth, you don't deserve to be punished. But my dad is not the sort of person who will spare you even after you told him the truth. So he beat the living daylight out of me. I still remember that day. It must have been around 1978.
Well, a long time ago.
Yes. You know, I like watching football a lot, especially live football games. An uncle of mine took me on a bicycle, and we rode from Okene to Ihima to watch a match between my school at that time, Town Memorial College, and Comprehensive High School, Ihima. As a little boy, he put me on the bike, and we rode that long distance on the bicycle just to watch a football match. I enjoyed the football match, but as soon as I got home, he took me straight to the same garage.
Wow.
He didn't ask about his
Brother.
Yes, the one that took me. He didn't even ask me the whereabouts of my uncle. And I told him this person took me to go and watch a match. He still took me to that garage to give me the beating of my life.
That's his training workshop. That's the training workshop.
So that's the place. That's his favorite place to meet me. You know. So even by the time I became grown up, just left secondary school, I would go and watch football games. I'll be praying that my dad will not see me.
Coming.
Yes, see me just arriving home, or even perchance meet me in town. There was a day I had gone to watch. In fact, this was an athletics event. At that time, I'm talking about 1984 now. It's 1984. There was a big rivalry between two Nigerian female sprinters, and the world, Nigerians wanted to know who was the fastest between the two. There was a race in Garden City, Port Harcourt, won by Linda Ebiemokumo. So the rematch took place inside the main bowl of the Kwara Stadium, and this time it was Marion Yali. Marion Yali defeated Linda Ebiemokumo. As I was going home, trekking along Stadium Road, I wanted to get to Taiwo Road before taking a taxi. I was trekking along Stadium Road, looking for a shortcut to hit Taiwo Sale, you know, just trying to get close to where the road goes towards Amelego.
Yeah, Amelego post office.
Post office, you know, from that place it's easier to connect to my home and Herat.
That's true.
Lafayette Street, that's just behind Herat. As I was going, I saw my dad in the opposite direction, driving. I thought he saw me. So once I got home, I was very quiet. I started where I was just waiting for him to call me as usual. But on that day,
Didn't see.
it was clear that he didn't see me.
Looks smiled on you.
I was too lucky.
That was great.
I was stubborn as a kid because even when my parents would leave for home, would leave for church the same time, but I would leave church to attend Marxism-Leninism meetings at Stadium Road. There were many there who used to attend, including this Benga Olaripo, who is now known as Benga Olaripo Hashi. We used to attend Marxism-Leninism meetings together with Muyiwa Adekeye. You know, the late Kogi fellow who was also a Yoruba freedom fighter.
Rotimi
Obadofin. Yes. Late Obadofin. Ashaju, Tunde Ashaju, now in Canada.
Yeah, I know him. I know him very well.
We were doing the meeting in Tunde Ashaju's house.
I know him very well.
You know, everybody will be in church, And I will leave the meeting before the church closed. They will not know I didn't attend church.
And get back before the church.
Yes, I'll get back before the church.
To get in the car.
Yes, so we will think I was upstairs because the Man Baptist Church had this gallery. So I usually sat there with other boys. You know. They never knew that on many occasions I didn't go to church. So some of those things, those experiences prepared me for life's tough decisions, prepared me for a life that clearly would task one's discipline. So where I found myself now, I need to be tough, I need to be disciplined, I need to be fearless. Some of my experiences in life, early life, adequately prepared me prepared me for who I am today. Certainly, because I thank God that I had a dad who was two of us. My dad beat the most. Our second to the last born Dio. I think he beat Dio more than he beat me. You know, beat him more than he beat me because Dio was also stubborn in a sense. He won't listen. He gets beaten, still do the same thing. I didn't have the courage to do some of the things that he would do. For example, driving my dad's car. I never drove my dad's car for one day. Where are you going to find the courage? And nobody watched his car more than me. In 2 lifetimes, my other brothers would not have watched that car as much as I had watched. But in spite of that, I never summoned the courage to attempt to drive his car. But my brother was taught how to drive by his own friends. And before you know it, he started driving that car without his knowledge, without his consent. So one day, my dad was at the WAEC examiner's floor marking school certificate examination. And here was my brother trying to drive his car out of the school premises. So a friend of our dad was driving in the opposite direction and then flashed him. Of course, he didn't flash back. So when he got to the floor, the hall, he now said, JK, I saw you a while ago now and I flashed you. You didn't flash back. He did not even say what. He knew that somebody had. So he just went home straight. Beat the hell out of this boy. Today, everyone likes him to drive. Everyone, because he's so competent at driving, everyone sees him as the person must drive them this and that. And for me, they don't see me as a good driver. Even when my mom comes and we are traveling and I want to drive, she will say, no, don't drive me. It's Dayo who will drive me. So one day, my mom came to live with me. And it was time to go to Iloni. We were going together. My mom got into the car. She saw that I went straight to the driver's seat. She said, no, you are not to drive me. I said, if we are going to this Iloni together, I'm the one who will drive you. He said, why? I said, because this is my car. I determine who drives my car. It's mine. He said, but you can't be here and your brother is here and you insist that you are the one to drive. I said, I'm going to drive today. She thought that after Ibadan, for example, that I will hand over the car to my brother. I refused. I handed over the car after Ogbomoso, which was the next most dangerous. I wanted her to know that there is no big deal. You know, so after Ogbomoso, I gave the car to my brother to drive. Do you know that it was after I gave my brother the car to drive that my mom could sit comfortably in the car? Despite the fact that there was no near accident situation, she still never found it comfortable that I was the one driving. So my point, what I wanted to do was prove to her that, look, you may be hyping this guy, but I'm also a capable driver. So at least I successfully brought you from Lagos to just after Ogbomoso.
80% of the journey covered.
90,
yeah.
or 90 something. So that was it. Our father would want you to wash his car, but you dare not
touch it.
I think the way he was brought up
Impacts.
was the way he wanted to bring us up. I don't think in today's world you can bring up children in that way.
No.
Okay, but
If you try it, you will lose those children completely. Children are subject to all kinds of influences,
mostly the
internet. So I've seen children who kill their parents now.
That is true.
There's an interview with Marwa that will run on Thursday. You hear Marwa saying it, that some parents can only sleep when their children have gone to bed. Some of them have asked for help. I don't think you can bring up children in that way. Flogging at the slightest opportunity. You know, when a child confesses, you still think that you must beat
them.
You know?
But sometimes it's those kind of lifestyle that they forcefully give you those set of values that is hard to live because they were earned. Those kind of values were earned. You know.
I remember my younger sister's first year in school. My younger sister Yabo, her first term in school, she came back home with an empty portmanteau. Empty. They stole everything. Her pants, they stole everything.
Sure.
My mom beat hell out of her. It was when she started, because she got into secondary school as a 9-year-old. You know. It was when she got to the senior classes and she graduated at 14. It was when she started learning to keep her things. You see these things, a child just 9 years old gets into secondary school, goes straight to boarding house. That's like, you know, that's sending a child to boarding house. So these days, my son, my second son has been saying he wants to go to boarding house. The way my wife rolls her eyes. But this is the one who goes around with so many friends. I don't think my wife will be comfortable to let him go.
It won't happen.
I told her, I even sent you a message that I want to go to boarding house. So when I went to boarding house, my firstborn, we almost fought to keep him in boarding house. We almost fought because I knew he needed it to learn some things, to learn about life. I don't know what, maybe for the final time also, We have to talk about it. But my wife is too fond of her children that she will find it difficult. They find it difficult to let any of them go to boarding house. But
Are you okay? Sorry. Yeah, that's a good one.
Okay.
The only thing for the period
Okay, yeah.
it's just very, you can just be short about this. Not on the kind of, in journalism, what was your biggest challenge? Like, because right now you're well known, your name can open doors right now. But to get to that point, I know you have go through a lot of humiliation, fights, arguments, and people on purpose, even they know that you merit something, want to push back because they don't want to see you take a particular. So, what's the biggest obstacle you have that before
breaking through?
Yeah, before breaking through.
the biggest obstacle in the beginning, before I became who I am now, obstacle. I think that everywhere I've worked, it always takes some time before, maybe because of my nature, I don't fight for my entitlements. I don't play politics. I don't leak people's houses. I'm not an impressionable person who wants to make people happy, no.
You don't lobby?
If it doesn't come to me because I merit it, I will not lobby for it. Maybe because of that, it takes a while. Everywhere I've worked, it's taken a while before my effort is rewarded. Right from the first place I worked, you will waste time, later on you realize that, oh, why don't we just make this guy? And then after that, you start wishing you are taking that decision a long time ago.
Because of the value you bring to the system.
They usually, people tend to underrate you from the beginning until they see clearly that, oh, this guy is a lot better than we think he is. So I face that situation everywhere I've worked. Maybe it's my own style. I'm not the aggressive type of person. No, I'm never in a hurry. I just do my thing quietly, and ultimately the methods that I adopt will bear those fruits. So I would say it has not been easy to get to the top. You have to fight, you have to contend against forces, you have to prove that you are better than your contemporaries at work to earn elevation. Sometimes you expect that people should actually know that you are this good, but perhaps they have their own ideas. You don't get that recognition early enough. So you then be wondering what's going on. But
thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.